Hi guys, so I thought I'd quickly pop in and do a little intro for this reading vlog. Welcome back to another video, or welcome if you're new. So I've mentioned of late that I am on the final book of Harry Potter. Just a quick preface before we continue on. I am totally aware of the current situation revolving the author. I had debated about whether or not I would continue giving this more airtime, but I feel like, and I've sort of got this consensus throughout the majority of booktube, specifically those that are catered towards Harry Potter book videos or videos in general, and it really is the fans' own now. I feel like we're able to separate the author from the creation, because it means so much to many people, and I feel like it would be devastating if, although rightly so, some had just completely given up on the whole situation. But for others that find that difficult to do, they can cut ties with the author but continue loving the world that's been created, and I think that might be my sway. So yes, I am finishing off doing my reading vlog. I've been doing a reading vlog for every book that I've read, as it is my first time reading these, and we are on the final book now. So yeah, I hope I've not rambled too much and you kind of understand what I'm saying. And also, just from a completely nerdy point of view, I feel like in my head I wouldn't rest unless I got this vlog done, because I've done it consecutively for the others, if that makes sense. If it was any other series, I'm pretty sure it'd be exactly the same. Like if I'd solely done a first time reading this book, that book, this series that everybody has loved, and then I just didn't do the last one, I think it would just nag at me. So yeah, we are going to be doing this, but as usual with all these videos, I don't really talk about the author anyway. So yeah, we're just going to be focusing solely on the fun, shenanigans, and probably the darkness within the final book, as we draw to a close, and probably many more character lives are ended. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in seeing my first impressions of the final book as a first time reader, and then most likely going to be watching the film at some point, then join me. This was my sort of instead of, because I was supposed to be going to Amsterdam and that's been cancelled, so we're just going to have little random days out here and there, I think, and the days that I'm not doing anything, we shall discuss this. However, I don't know if there's going to be a bit of a gap between me starting and finishing this, just because I have a buddy read near the end of the month. It's like the last week of the month, so if I don't finish this by then, I will be putting it down to pick up that book and then come back to this at a later date. So I apologise in advance if it feels a bit stilted and it drags out longer than necessary. I do hope to have this vlog up at the end of October, but it might not just work that way, because as I say, I do need to put this book down if I am still reading it when the 19th comes, as that's when I'm starting this buddy read. So I think I've done all my preamble. I don't know if I'm going to start this tonight. It's getting on. I've just finished editing a video, but it's near on 10 now, and I've been at work all day. I've been at work like on a late shift as well, so I really feel it if you know what I mean, and I'm tired and I haven't eaten yet, so we'll see if I pick it up tonight. If not, I'll probably start it tomorrow evening. I've got a few things that I need to do in the morning and early afternoon, so I guess at that point we'll jump right in if I don't start it tonight. But yeah, I will check in with you soon, shortly to you, probably tomorrow for me. Okay, so I am really not that far into Harry Potter. I'm on page, stopped midway in the chapter actually, I'm on page 42, so like barely anything really, 42 or 45 anyway, I can't quite tell, and I'm still just kind of getting back into it. It usually takes me around 50 pages roughly to get into a book if I'm feeling it, so fingers crossed I'll throw myself back into it relatively soon. But we've just come back from food shopping, so I've just put away my stuff, and I went into TK Maxx and got 2 random bits. Thought I'd share them with you if you're interested. These Dr. Jart face masks are so random and weird looking, all the rubbery and bizarre, so I got another one. This is the rubber mask hydration lover. I've not tried this one before. I tried the shake and shot one and that was a lot of fun, so yeah, I thought I'd try this one. It's for moisture and yeah, mainly hydration. And then I got these a pack of 2 hair turban sets, just for like, you know, when you dry your hair. I think they're microfiber or something nice for your hair, so it's not snagging it and that. Machine washable, perfect for hair. Hello, all hair types and lengths. Yeah, it just reduces split ends and frizz and stuff like that. So I'm getting a collection of these of late, and I'm seeing some good ideas for Christmas presents and stuff, but there was no Halloween stuff, which I'm gutted about. So yeah, that's my random little update. Really not that interesting. Oh, I got my delivery of the Nightmare Before Christmas collection from Makeup Revolution, and I'm wearing them on my eyes today. That haul might be up before this video. So yeah, this is what it looks like. Very pretty. I'm wearing the Sally palette for anyone that's interested, and the light highlighter. Absolutely j'adore. Beautiful. Chef's kiss. Mermaids, the body found. So, I just got home. We went to the Natural History Museum, which was so much fun. I'll show you what I got in a second. But throughout like the train journey and that, I was reading Harry Potter. And I read this scene. Obviously, this video is going to be spoilery. I always talk about spoilers in these videos. But like the next scene that I actually read, because I only read a couple of pages last night and then I just turned to whatever. Anyway, Hedwig. Poor Hedwig. my little heart, I was like, okay, this is when they mean serious business. They've just offed a little creature. People are going to start dying. And then Mad Eye Moody, and I was just like, oh god, when will this end? So yeah, I'm in for a mean ride, and maybe it's not the kind of book that I should take on journeys and excursions with me now, because I was trying not to cry. Anyway, shall we talk about what I got at the Natural History Museum? I did not get this at the Natural History Museum, but it's in there anyway. I got 3 lollipops, one of which I've eaten, a bookmark with elephants on there, a pack of 3 notebooks because I needed a little one to take to work. These ones are lovely. They've got like butterflies, flowers, and I think like birds. So it's just a pack of 3. And I got 3 books. So I got Greta Thunberg's No One Is Too Small to Make a Difference, and it's got the expanded edition, so there's a little extra bit on it. Letters to Earth, Writing to a Planet in Crisis, introduced by Emma Thompson, and it's got I guess these are like all different nature authors or something, nature writers. I think it's contributing lots of different writers making up bits and bobs. I don't mean making up bits and bobs, I mean like talking about bits and bobs to do with the earth and the planet and how we treat it, I guess. And then I got this really cute one. I think it's aimed at a younger audience, but it's Earth Heroes by Howdee-haie. 20 inspiring stories of people saving our world, which obviously the cover is definitely what attracted me. It's really stunning. But yeah, it's another one where it's got compilations of different authors talking about, ooh, and they've got like pictures and illustrations in it as well, which is nice. Talking about the world and what we can do to help it, and what we have been doing to help it, just to inspire some bits. I really like how they've got the illustrations around like the photo of the author. It's really cool. So those are the bits that I got at the Natural History Museum. I hope you've enjoyed the random little clips that I've been splicing in here. I'm probably just going to read a little bit more of Harry Potter for the rest of the night. I'm on page 73. I'm on chapter 6, and probably watch some more of The Strain, which I feel like I've been talking about in all my vlogs of late. It's really cool. It's a vampire TV series, like co-directed or directed by Guillermo del Toro, who I really love. So I'm gonna crack on with that. So I just read where the trio were trying to get together despite Mrs. Weasley's efforts at keeping them apart, to discuss like the Horcruxes and stuff, and Hermione told them that they can be like returned together, like the soul can be intact if the owner of the soul feels great remorse for what he's done. And then not even a few pages later they use that word to describe a situation with Harry, saying Harry felt great remorse at the trouble he's caused for Mrs. Weasley or whatever, the effort he's put her through. And I feel like that's more than coincidence that they'd used that same word after just talking about remorse being the sort of glue to seal the soul back together. So I feel that's a bit of foreshadowing. Hi all, I'm really sorry I haven't like properly been, sorry I'm just chucking something in the bin, updating you guys on anything of interest to the book, but I thought I'd just do a check-in quickly with what I've been doing over the last couple of days. So yesterday I just visited a friend I hadn't seen in a little while. It was really nice for a little catch-up and stuff. Filmed and edited video, and I was reading throughout. Today I'm gonna, I played a little bit of Animal Crossing, but then it like needed charging, so I put it on charge and kind of forgot about it. So today I'm gonna be playing some more Animal Crossing, hopefully read a little bit. Just to let you know, I am currently on chapter 8, The Wedding. I'm on page 109, and then later on I'm seeing my 2 cousins and we're gonna get Wagamamas. So yeah, I might take this camera with me actually, I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's it. We're going to pop to my grandparents first actually, because I've still got a few bits that I want to just bring over. And to see my grandparents obviously. But yeah, that is the game plan for today. What's the time? It's like later on in the afternoon now. Well, it's early afternoon, but it's later on in the day. So I've still got a lot of time. I could really utilise my time now by filming a video and editing. But I don't think I'm going to be home incredibly late. I don't know. perhaps I'll just film a video then, but it is going to be probably darker lighting because I haven't used my studio lights in like 2 years. So I think I really should just film the video now, but I'm not feeling it right now and I really want to go on Animal Crossing, so that's what I'm going to do. And yes, I'm pretty much wearing like an ensemble of the same clothes. I'm just mix and matching it. Just cause, you know, just cause. I used the Nightmare Before Christmas eye palette on my eyes today. I don't know if I've spoken about it on this video, but I've got a haul up if you're interested, and Revolution came out of a Nightmare Before Christmas collection for Halloween, and I really do like it. I'm wearing some of the darker shades and some of the blue. Blue is like my favourite colour, but it's even now, as you can see, I'm still scared of using it on my eyes. I don't know why. I think I had a bad experience one time and I tried to use it when I was young and I just looked like I got punched in the eye. But anyway, yeah, I'm really happy with how these colours look and how they blend. Some of them are more like softer and subtler than the other Revolution palettes that I've had, but they're buildable, they're nice, I like them. And yeah, that's the plan for today really. So I'm just gonna skedaddle along with what I've just said, and I will catch you again when I have something else of mild, cold interest to tell you. Hey guys, so I feel like I've been filming every other video but this reading vlog, but just a little catch up of what I've been up to. Yesterday me and my partner went to like Lakeside, a shopping centre, and we did a little bit of shopping, walking around, had some dinner. It was just a really lovely day actually, and we didn't get back till like 7:30 or so, so we spent a good while out. And when we came home we watched some more of The Haunting on Hill House, and after that I needed to watch something a little bit happy, so we saw we actually did this the day before as well, but we started just casually watching Code Lyoko. I don't know if any of you guys remember that show, but it's amazing. It's like a French animation cartoon, and I used to watch it on, was it Jetix, I think was the channel, Jetix, yeah, I think, when I was younger. And then after that I stayed up for a little bit longer and read some more Harry Potter. I'm currently in the middle of a chapter. I think it's chapter 6 I'm on, possibly chapter 10, sorry. And we've just been through the part where they had is it Bill? Yeah, Bill and Fleur's wedding, and during the wedding the ministry fell and a Patronus was sent by Kingsley to warn them that the Death Eaters are coming. So the trio have just wizarded themselves away, and they're trying to think up a plan. They're trying to figure out what to do next, like their actual journey and solo ship starts now really. So yeah, that was really intense. I am definitely involved in this. I feel like I can pick it up at random points in the day and bang through like a good few pages here and there, so it's nice to see a bit of progress going. I definitely won't finish this by the time I go back to work after my holiday, which will be Thursday, but the way it works out, I've got like toil days because I'm doing this weekend of work, so I've got toil days and then I've got another day booked off, so I think I can get it done within the next week or two, hopefully, depending on if I keep picking this up, because I am drawn to other things, and so far this month I've only read 2 books and I kind of want to read a few more. Like, I haven't even really touched my TBR for October except for this. I'm in the middle of War Girls as well, which was also on my TBR, but I really haven't picked it up since starting this vlog. So I don't know, I might have to just bang in a couple of pages for that just to get some more progress. And the book that I'm reading at work, which is Winter something and something, it's a NetGalley e-arc. I haven't touched because I've not been at work, so I've not been picking up my Kindle really. So yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit behind in reading progress that I would like to be, but it's okay. I've been having a good time. Today we're actually going to an escape room, me and my boyfriend, and I've never done one before, so it'll be interesting to see what that's like. Well, we've chosen a kind of wizard-esque one, so I'll probably tell you guys about that later on today. And then after that I really do need to catch up on a bit of editing. So far I was good like filming and then editing like the next day or whatever, or the same day, but because we've had a few more like excursions and then just coming back home and chilling and watching some TV, I've not really had the time to sort of sit down and take myself off and do some editing for a couple of hours. So perhaps I'll get the chance to do that today, but if not, tomorrow is pretty much a full day. I've got my counselling in the middle of the day on the phone, so I could always do editing before or after that, or both, depending on how I feel. So yeah, that's the update for now. Yeah, I've just got to do some washing up now, make some breakfast, and get on with the day. Hopefully I read some of this before I head out to the escape room. But yeah, we'll see. The Harry Potter-esque escape room was absolutely perfect, very fitting for this reading vlog actually. I wasn't able, let me just mount you here quickly, I wasn't able to record in there obviously because it's an escape room. It kind of spoils the surprise really. It was so much fun. It was called the Magic Emporium, and I would definitely do more. They were so good. We had loads of clues. So we wouldn't have passed it without it, but yeah, we didn't get a chance to take a picture unfortunately. We just kind of forgot, but they're building their winter one at the minute, so I'm excited for that. Yeah, it was a really nice day. We did a little bit of shopping actually. I'll show you some of the random stuff I got. Oh god, breaking them. I'm finding that I'm really liking what B&M has. Not that you can see, there we go. So I got a few like homeware bits. I really hope this is not broken. I got a new mirror because I broke the one that I've had for years, unfortunately. We've got a mirror in the bathroom anyway, but this little one I just usually have like on the side, so I don't have to face the big mirror, like when I'm washing my face and then I move away from the sink, if you know what I mean. It just goes everywhere. So I got this really nice little marbly one. Some of you may know I broke my Scentsy wax melt, which is gutting, and I bought a few Nightmare Before Christmas wax melts like this. So I didn't have anything, like, it's an electric one, I didn't have anything to like melt them on, but I have got a lot of manual ones that just need like little tea light candles to warm it up underneath, so I think I'll still get use out of my Halloweeny scents by just burning some of these under there. They didn't have any plain ones, so I just got a couple of the Fresh Linen and Berry Lane because I thought that would be nice to burn just on its own as well, but also it might be a nice blend with the flavours that are in the wax melts. And then I just got some boring stuff. Actually, this isn't boring. I got some pumpkin spice cane syrup for like coffees and stuff. Some Magic Stars chocolates. Some chocolate bars that I can take to work. Oh no! I'm crushing everything, honestly. And some sweeties. So yeah, that's what I managed to buy this time, just when I was in town. So now I'm actually going to edit a video. I think I'm going to edit a haul. I did a haul yesterday, but I've got this other haul that shows some like Makeup Revolution stuff that I needed to put up, and I want it up on the 15th, so I think I'm going to just go ahead and edit it now. So I'm just going to turn all the devices that I need to be turned on, and meanwhile I will be charging this camera because it is low battery yet again. I have spent nearly the whole day reading today, which has been pure bliss, and I've really cracked on with the Deathly Hallows. I'm now nearly halfway through, and oh my god, so much has happened. So I think I last checked in when I was reading about the basically being ambushed at the wedding. I'm pretty sure that was when I last talked or mentioned anything about Harry Potter. And now they've been like on the run. So, oh wow, so much has happened. They've located the authentic locket, which is the other Horcrux, and Ron's left them because, you know, they were starting to get really agitated, obviously being on the run, not hearing any positive news and stuff like that, and just being stuck in each other's company. And obviously the impact of the Horcrux on them makes them even more negative, and Ron left angry, and yeah, and then they've just gone to Bathilda's house, and I don't know why I didn't remember that they had killed her, or that she had been hostage in Voldemort's capture, because from the beginning it was suspicious. I was just so happy that they could possibly have found Gryffindor's real sword with Bathilda that I completely forgot about the scene where she was basically being tortured. I'm pretty sure that was happening, right? And yeah, so when it was Nagini, the snake, inside her, and it's clear now that she was like a corpse just being worn, which is a horrible, horrible thought to have there. But yeah, it's so dark. But I'm enjoying it. We've gotten so far. I've read loads today, I feel. So it's nice to see a bit of progress made in like a thicker book, you know. That's it for now. I am going back to work tomorrow. I'm just about to go to bed. And also I forgot to mention, I think I briefly said that I have 12 days because I'm working the weekend, but I forgot to mention, well, I think I did mention it already, but I forgot that I had a buddy read starting on my 12 day. So I'll probably be putting Harry Potter down for a little while. I feel like I've already said this, maybe. I don't know. It's when you've been vlogging for so long, it sort of blends all in one. But yeah, I'll probably be putting that down for a while just to read the buddy read, which I think takes me up to the end of the month. So I might not get back to this until November, but we'll see. We'll see how quickly I get through my buddy read, and if I feel like wanting to read more after the day's reading for that, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's it for now. I'm gonna go to bed because I'm going back to work. It's gonna be a bit of a shock to the system, I think, because I've had so long off now. It felt so nice. But yeah, I'll speak to you in a little bit. Well, a little bit for me, a little bit for you, with the power and magic of editing. Evening all. So as I was saying earlier, I was back at work today, but I was on an earlier shift, so all this evening I've pretty much been indulging myself in some reading. I'm now on chapter 21, page 331, and I just quickly want to talk about a few things. So the Horcrux situation where Ron returned and destroyed the locket, I remember the scene. I must have seen a little bit of this scene or something. It must have been something that I had seen with the Horcrux showing Ron, Harry and Hermione kissing and how awkward that was, and I feel like I watched an interview with them saying how weird that scene was to film. But just reading that, I could vividly see it, and I was like, oh my god, I felt so bad for Ron, but at the same time it was like, don't let it get to you, you know, don't let it get to your head, which is obviously what it was doing. But that was a really cool scene to read. It was very vivid, and I could see it. And now they're actually mentioning the Deathly Hallows, and I don't know why I didn't think this, but I never really wondered about the title. I didn't think, oh, the Deathly Hallows is a thing. I never knew what it was, but I never thought, I wonder what it is. And now they're just about to discuss it with Luna's dad. And I think we're going to get a bit of a story time because they're going to go and talk about the three brothers. So it'll be interesting now to kind of see what unfolds from this. I assume it's going to lead to more Horcruxes or something like that. But it's just funny because I'd never, I don't know if there's been Easter eggs in previous books where it's kind of been allured to, but it's not something that I looked at and thought, oh, I wonder what that is. So I'm going into it having no expectations as really what it could be. Like, I have a few theories of maybe, you know, with the Horcruxes and that, but I hadn't been pondering over it for a time because for some reason it just didn't go off in my head like, what's this? This sounds, you know, impactful enough to make it the cover title. So I'm excited to learn about this tale of the three brothers. I wonder if it has anything to do with the tales of Beedle the Bard, and if it's in Hermione's little children's book of it, and maybe that could unlock some more clues for her in deciphering the code and the runes and all those sort of things. But yeah, I'm excited to find out. So I'm going to stop telling you how excited I am and just go ahead and read this and find out, rather than blabbering on. Okay, so I'm absolutely fascinated that the Deathly Hallows are items and not a place. But they've already got one of the items, the invisibility cloak, and it's just interesting to see them now kind of looking at each other whilst not giving away that they've got what seems to be a true invisibility cloak. And then the conversation of how the other items exist, the Elder Wand and the what do they call it, the stone that brings back people to life. I need to know where these things are kept. I need to know their true existence and how this then surely, you know, comes around into the greater plot of defeating Voldemort. And or maybe Harry will struggle with the idea, if he finds these, of bringing back his parents, or Dumbledore, or Mad-Eyed Moody, and all these other people. Oh, this could open so many possibilities. Okay, I'm very excited. Random, but I like how the 7th book, the last book, was published in 2007. This is probably already a thing that exists, like, intentionally, and I sound like an idiot, but obviously 7 being the key, 7 a magical number, 7 parts of the soul, 7th book, 2007, and then this edition was published 7 years later in 2014. I don't know, my mind just blew a little bit at all this thing. I like finding, I don't remember what the word is it synchronicity? Finding connections within things, particularly numbers. Fascinates me a lot. Yet when it comes to maths, that's a whole other story. Hate the thing. Nah, cannot get my head around it, even the basics. Okay, so they've just tuned in, well not just, but the parts that I've read now, they've tuned into that Pottermore thing. Oh, it's called Pottermore, which is what that thing's called online, to find out what your Patronus and all that is. Anyway, they tuned into the radio station. It was amazing, like, reading them kind of finding hope again in, like, Lee Jordan's voice being recognised and all that. But with Lupin, why does he always go for, like, these obvious wolfy names? Because, okay, to be fair, this one wasn't that obvious at first, because I was like, hold on, Romulus, because that was his code name, and I was like, Romulus and Remus, but I couldn't remember why that was in my head. And then I remembered the Roman tale of Romulus and Remus, who were these brothers that got raised by this she-wolf. So yeah, I was like, okay, so if you know your mythology, it's like really obvious. So his code is basically flawed, because I'm pretty sure the wizarding world would know their mythology more than the regular muggle, so to speak. So surely everyone would know that's him. And I'm so annoyed that Harry and his cockiness, well, it's not even cockiness, I guess he was used to calling Voldemort by his name, so he didn't have that much fear attached to it from the beginning, pretty much. But just that slip up has caused them to be caught. And I was in the bath reading this scene, and I was just so bloody frustrated, because they got from this really excited, happy, elated scene where they were listening in onto the radio station and getting more like positivity and about people like supporting him and stuff, and then he went and bloody let slip the name, you know, the name that's got a taboo on it. And so obviously the Snatchers, or whatever they're called, are there and caught them. And yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen. Probably some bad shit. It looks like Draco doesn't want to be involved. Like, he doesn't want to admit that that's Harry and his friends and stuff. So yeah, he was pretty much turning a cold shoulder previously though, wasn't it? When he saw how dark and horrible being a Death Eater is. So Also, I'm totally wasting the opportunity to burn my buttered bear candle. This is, I don't know why it's not focusing, sorry. This is by Pretty Geek on Etsy, and it is a really nice smelling candle. Smells fantastic. I've also got a lip balm. This is from a different shop on Etsy. This is the Buttered Beer Lip Balm by Little Shop of Lathers, and they smell phenomenal. And I've got my tea. Why have I not been utilising this time for that? That's just ridiculous of me. Oh, sorry, you can see my very clean undies. Thank you very much. Washing I need to put away, or clean clothes rather. Okay, well, I'm going to make use of my time and burn this. I've already... Oops, I turned the light off, sorry. I've already made myself a hot chocolate, so I guess the buttered beer flavoured tea is going to have to be put on the back burner for now. Oh man, I really hope I've actually got enough of the wick left to burn. Sorry if I just blinded you guys. There we go. Perfect. So I'm really close. First of all, I've just recovered from a migraine, and I thought, oh, what can comfort me and cheer me up? Harry Potter. Of course that wasn't the case, because as soon as I opened it and started reading, Dobby was killed. So that didn't help my mood in the slightest. But now we're learning more about Gringotts Bank and Griphook, who is talking about basically the authenticity of the sword that Harry and Ron and Hermione had, and they're just forming this idea of trying to break into the Lestrange's bank vault and what could come of that. And it looks like Harry's having to choose between Horcruxes and Hallows. But there was a bit, oh, my throat made a funny noise. There's a bit where Griphook, is that his name, was, oh, I think I was just going to jump up here. But there was a bit where Griphook was basically bitterly but vulnerably opening up and saying how, you know, there's always been the war between goblins and wand bearers, like wizards who fucking hell who have the let me show you. I'm sorry, I'm trying to be serious, but she just jumped into the rocked the whole thing. Yeah, so sorry. He's talking about how wand bearers, wizards obviously, and goblins have always had this sort of confrontation, because wizards won't, because goblins and elves are all looked down upon. They've never been shown respect, other than how Harry respects them, and I guess Dumbledore to an extent as well. But yeah, he's basically saying how they're looked down upon, they've never been trusted with the secrets of bettering themselves to know the powers of wands and that sort of magic. And Hermione's like, I'm a mudblood, you know, I'm hunted just as much as you, and I understand that, like, that righteousness of trying to band together and all that, but she can't. It's weird because she's the one character who's been striding for, like, the house elves, for example, their freedom and that, but I feel like it was a bit insensitive of her to try and jump on the bandwagon and saying, I am suffering just as much as you. Like, she will maybe, but that shouldn't invalidate how goblins have been feeling and how they've been feeling for much longer, because I think they're an older race, aren't they, and the injustices they've had, and the lack of respect from wizards and other species and stuff. So I don't know, I felt that was a little bit maybe out of character for Hermione. I don't know, she's just highly strung at the minute because she's just been literally tortured, but I guess that's no excuse really for trying to say that your suffering's, you know, equal to or not as bad as my suffering, if you know what I mean. I might be reading into it too much in that, and maybe because I've just come out of a migraine, I'm a little bit more sensitive than usual and in tuned to these things. But yeah, it's just something that irritated me a little bit, because like the goblins, they've built this cell for them, yet they're still not on the level of the wizards. They're not allowed that entrustment or whatever. And then Ron chiming in saying, yeah, but you're the same because you've not given us the knowledge of how to make excellent armour and weapons like you. And it's like, well, why should they if they're not being shown the respect that's deserved? Do you know what I mean? Like, anyway, just thought I'd mention that. Here's some more Elsa time to make everyone smile. She's way too big for this little side thing, and I really do need to get her a new one of these because it's so wonky from her thick self. Hey Elsa. Oh, you're the prettiest. Oh my gosh, Aberforth. Albus's brother is the barman of the Hog's Head, and it's his eyes just been seeing. It sounds like I'm just discovering this on my own, but no, I've literally just read that bit. I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. Okay. I'm getting those face and like skull tingles that I get when I'm like overcome with emotion, and I'm extremely excited but also anxious and apprehensive about what's to come, because everyone is now in the room of requirement. Like all of the Order of the Phoenix, all of Dumbledore's army, shit is getting real. They've called all the armour to start moving and like barricading the doors and stuff. All of the school, like the underage kids, are getting what's the word, evacuated. The older kids are being offered to stay and help fight. Voldemort is coming and shit's about to be real. Like, where did Severus Batwing up and at him fly out to? Where'd he go? Mate. And those siblings, those evil siblings that are like locked up and chained at the minute in Ravenclaw's dormitory, are they gonna like break free? Like, are they just gonna sneak in behind them? And what about the other teachers that are in line with Voldemort, like that are in the school? Was that just them? Was it just Severus and the two siblings, or were there more? And then obviously Slytherin as a house, you've got some that are really like vindictive and cruel and will probably try and fight the students and the teachers within the school, but come on, surely the majority of them are gonna just like band together and be like, right, now this is evil, we ain't about that life, we've got to get out of this like cult mentality and break free. And I'm getting them tingles, and it's like I've not got much left, but I also am getting to the point where I keep putting it down because I don't want to finish it. As you can see, I'm getting kind of sleepy, but I just wanted to come on here again and say I really don't understand the logic of Voldemort talking to the Great Hall saying that you have until midnight. Like, why wouldn't you just take the opportunity of them in sort of disarray and unorganised as they're trying to evacuate people out to just ambush them? Like, obviously I don't want that to happen, but why wouldn't he do that? I guess maybe he's finding pleasure from this sort of countdown and watching everyone scramble up, but in my mind he's already in this maddening murderous thought process, so surely he'd want to just kill for the fun of it, you know what I mean? But yeah, where are Hermione and Ron? Have they found it? Have they been kidnapped? Has Snape got them? This is too much for my sleepy, exhausted brain to take in right now. It really... Oh, I feel like I've got deep conditioner in my head, but I feel like my eyes are welling up. I'm so... That is so cute. Rob was just saying we've forgotten someone, and he said the house elves, and Harry was like, oh, you mean we should get them to fight? And he said, no, we can't have any more dobbies, we can't order them to die for us. And Hermione just dropped what she was holding, threw herself at him and full on kissed him, and I was like, yes, 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 yes. That was so precious. For God's sake. Fred, I don't know how I didn't see this coming, because I watch a channel who's since changed her name. She's called Aoife, she's lovely, but her channel was originally Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and I was like, okay, but it never properly connected that Fred Weasley would die laughing, which is kind of beautiful, because at least he went out how he was in life, which was laughing and cracking jokes. And but damn, I wasn't expecting that. I had actually come on here, well, I was ready to come in here to pose a question, but then that scene happened. George is going to be distraught, everyone's going to be distraught, but that's his twin brother. Anyway, this is too heavy for a Monday morning, I swear. Anyway, my question is, and I might have missed something, but you know Godric's sword, why was that not a Horcrux? Why was that used to defeat a Horcrux? I'm very confused, because he's used, like, Voldemort's used, like, other houses' signature item as a Horcrux, right? So the tiara of, or diadem, whatever it's called, of Ravenclaw, and the Hufflepuffs. Why am I thinking of that Pokemon? Anyway, the Hugglepuffs, it's Hugglepuff, right? I can't remember now. Goblet thing, but yet he didn't use Godric's sword as one. Have I messed it up, like in the timeline? Was that just not available, or what? Like, I'm just confused with that bit. I might have been missing things or what, but I don't know. I'm just confused with that part, but I'm overcome with emotion right now for Fred. Bloody hell. Again, I keep getting lured into this false sense of security because they're all together and they're joking, and then I know something bad's going to happen, but I allow myself to revel and enjoy those good moments, knowing full well that my heart's going to break the next second. I cannot do this.
Invincible.
You mean to tell me, so after all this time, Snape was still on Harry's and Dumbledore's side, and in fact Dumbledore was, as Snape said, raising Harry like a pig at a slaughter, for the slaughter. That doe though, was actually his Patronus, or did he somehow master what was possibly Lily's Patronus? I don't know, I'm guessing that was just his regular Patronus. But I kind of hope, like, so when in my last reading vlog for this, I hoped that that would be the case, that he would still be sort of undercover, but it was just so convincing, and obviously he'd murdered Dumbledore and that was like the last straw. But there was always this feeling in the back of my head that maybe it wasn't how it seemed, but I just couldn't fathom, like, that was just wishful thinking. I didn't actually expect it to be this whole big plot being unearthed. I feel kind of random, but if this illustration is the scene that I'm reading now, where Harry has gone into the Forbidden Forest and he's just about to confront and basically throw his life on the line to defeat Voldemort, then it's inaccurately depicted. Although it's a beautiful illustration, he should be wearing robes, right? But he's just wearing his normal, like, muggle clothes. I don't know why that's bothering me. I needed a chocolate refuel. I'm literally sat here reverently reading, going, because I cannot get the words into my brain quick enough. I've got like 10 pages left. I'm kind of confused a little bit because of the wand thing, with Draco being the true master of the wand, and then that's confused me a bit. But I'm also thinking, I swear I got spoiled years ago saying that Neville was like the true hero. I mean, he did a really heroic stuff, especially when he slayed Nagini. But as I said, I've got 10 pages left. I nearly just saw the last word on the last page. Let's get this done. And then I can blow dry my hair and be done. Oh my gosh, I'm done. I am done. That was amazing. At first I thought, oh no, it's all anticlimactic with the fact that he just passed out and went into like this dream world with Dumbledore between life and death. But then there was another battle and it was just amazing. I was worried I was going to be annoyed but like the 90 years later, because I usually hate time jumps, but this one was so well done and has me excited and hopeful, and I really loved it. It was great. It was really, really great. All that's left now is to watch the part 1 and part 2 of the last movies. So I'll probably include a clip at the end of this of those reviews, but wow, I'm feeling so emotional right now. Okay, so I have officially finished the Harry Potter movie franchise. I'm never gonna see this or read this for the first time ever again, which is kind of a weird feeling. So let's get into the reviews. I'm gonna be lazy again and just read off whatever in. So Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1, I gave it 4 stars. Epic introduction straight away with the monologues, intense dark decor and lightning, and just the scenes in general, like, was proper captivating and just set the mood so perfectly. As usual, as I do with these reviews at the end of the vlogs, I'm just going to be pointing out some particular differences I noticed and reflecting on my overall enjoyment of the movies. I found it interesting in the movie, it's as if this is the first encounter Harry has had with Douglas, and he didn't seem as cowardly as the book had him to be, which was an interesting change of direction. I wonder why they did that. Why is Fleur not French? From the brief amount of speaking scenes she had, she sounded British, which was odd. I don't know why that was the case. I'm happy Harry let Hedwig fly off in that beginning scene, so at least she got a chance to help later on. But it wasn't her that made them know that made the Death Eaters know that Harry was the real Harry in the book, because in the book I think it was him using his Expelliarmus spell rather than like a killing curse, or like a stunning at least, wasn't it? But I liked that because it gave her a little bit more screen time, even though it was a very, very small amount, and it was still heartbreaking when she died, but at least she got involved, and I don't know, I felt like she had this heroic ending rather than just getting blasted in the side car of the motorbike like she did in the book. I wonder why they chose not to have Harry disguised as a Weasley cousin at Bill and Fleur's wedding, as well as not to disguise for other instances in the film, or at least use the cloak, because there was quite a few scenes I noticed where he would have at least been wearing the cloak, just to make it less detectable, and he didn't do that, which was odd. And I found it strange that Aberforth didn't use his his stag, what's it called? His goat Patronus to sort of mask Harry using his stag Patronus when he came into Hogsmeade and that caterwailing signal went off. I thought that was a nice thing that would have been cool to include, but I guess looking back at it as a reflective sort of thought, it just cut out, I guess, an unnecessary scene. But I don't know, it's all these little bits that build up and kind of get a bigger perspective of the storytelling and how everything sort of intertwines and interconnects, and I understand that sometimes they just don't have the time or the, I don't know, the need to include every little detail, so I do get it. I just like to, you know, bring up some of these differences. It was sad to see Hermione triggered having to use the Obliviate spell again. She used it on her parents, and it was interesting to see her hesitate and having to kind of master her mind to do it when she had to do that to two Death Eaters that was chasing her in that cafe near the beginning of the movie. It was just a nice bit of character play, and it's the little details like that that show the thought and the relatable humanity with the characters and makes it more of a closer bond and connection for the audience, I feel. So I did like that, even though it was heartbreaking to see her go through that struggle. My partner mentioned this pureblood system is very Nazi regime-esque, and I don't know why I never really thought of that to that extent before, but it really is, and it's quite frightening when you put into perspective how these things in a magical world can signify historical things that have happened and are happening and things like that. So it makes it a bit more of a poignant story, I feel. I've got to say, when we got to the end, I was like, surely that's not it, that's not the cliffhanger, is it? And then it was just done. I was expecting it to be way longer because it didn't feel long at all, but I'm really happy with the detail and the direction it did take. I like that things were rather just edited and left out than complete changes. I know I mentioned a few changes, but mostly what I noticed was just little things that were altered for ease of film and ease of watching, rather than completely like changed, or you know, they were just left out and it still made sense, if you know what I mean. Yeah, it made sense in the movie, but yeah, I was expecting a bit more of an oof, like a proper like boom cliffhanger, but it just sort of ended. I think I found out, well, I asked my boyfriend to look into it, and I think it was just 6 months they had to wait for the second part to come out. So luckily, if that's true, it wasn't just like a full year where they were on this awkward cliffhanger not knowing what was happening. So yeah, that was 4 stars for me. With part 2, I actually gave it a slightly higher rating. I gave it 4.5 stars, and I sort of just sat back and enjoyed this more. I didn't really pick apart any differences that were interesting to me. I just kind of just sat there and enjoyed it, proper taking it in for the first time, because I think I've mentioned before, most of the films I hadn't seen. I remember seeing A Prisoner of Azkaban, because my mum and my brother used to go to see the movies because it was more his age range at the time. He's 8 years older than me, and this was the film that I was begging to see with him, like, because I'd always get left behind at my grandparents because I was like too young or whatever, and I'm gutted that was the film I saw first because it terrified me because of the Dementors. But every other one I've kind of randomly seen snippets of, but obviously as I've been reading along for the first time, I've been watching the corresponding film after it, so some things I do recognise, some things I didn't. For example, I recognised the Horcrux scene where it was affecting Ron and it looked like Hermione and Harry were like getting all intimate and stuff, but just because of like memes, and I think I saw an interview where they were like, yeah, that's the most awkwardest scene we had to do, because they all just get along like family sort of thing. But yeah, so these were like proper first time viewings for me, so it's just to sit there and kind of enjoy it was a nice experience. So yeah, I was loving how we had a brief montage of recap basically at the beginning, and then pretty much for the most part we just went straight into it, like continuing on where we left off, with some bank breaking shit, you know. That was pretty epic. Now I understand the situation with the Elder Wand and how Draco was the true master. I think I mentioned in this vlog earlier that I didn't understand how, like, the way it was explaining it, I couldn't get what they meant, but it makes sense now. I feel like it was just explained much more clearer in the movie, and I was like, ah, okay, now I understand. As I say, I don't have a lot to say for part 2, as I felt like I was just fully immersed in it, just enjoying it for the experience. But I thought it was a fantastic finale, and the movie did the book justice in my opinion, regardless of the differences that I did note out and wanted to talk about. Yeah, I gave that one a 4.5 stars. Thank you so much for sticking around in this most likely very long vlog. In the future, Jen is going to be kicking herself having to edit all these pieces together, but that is the last of these first time vlogs for Harry Potter and the universe and the world. Generally, you know, letting go of all criticisms and horrible betrayals basically. I've had a blast reading these books, you know. I can't fault the experience of having that first feeling going into it as an adult as well, and maybe seeing things in a slightly different eye. It's been amazing, and I think I'm going to carry on this series for other books, maybe other popular books that a lot of people read, like in the YA genre, that they read during high school, secondary school, that I didn't read at the time. I'm thinking of doing it for a series that I DNF'd the first book for, so we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I will speak to you and catch you in another video soon. Thank you so much for staying with me on this interesting journey. Bye.